can start. Okay, we are going to resume, and I will present you the HELP program, which I was mentioning earlier in my introduction remarks. And let me start by recalling that in order to be a reality for all citizens within the jurisdiction of the European Convention on Human Rights have to be effectively protected and implemented first and foremost at national level. And the necessary precondition for achieving such an effective implementation of human rights at the national level is that those responsible for it are not only familiar with European human rights standards, but they also know how to apply it in concrete situations. And this is especially true for the actors of the justice chain, judges, lawyers, and prosecutors. And it is thus indispensable that all these actors are well trained on the use of human rights standards in national proceedings. And so this is precisely the aim of the HELP program, which has been developed as a response to a Committee of Ministers recommendation of 2004 on human rights education in universities and for legal professionals, to ensure that human rights training throughout the European space is of good quality and also meets the specific needs of each category, be it judges, lawyers, or prosecutors. And now the HELP program has become the platform for all human rights capacity development within the Council of Europe. So I would like to say that in the Council we see training as having both an immediate effect and a longer term. And the immediate contribution is to improve the skills of legal professionals, but the longer-term investment, of course, is to reduce the volume of cases coming to the European Court of Human Rights and making people such as Judge Zimele a little bit less busy so that they can focus on real problems and not issues which have already been decided many times by the Strasbourg Court. And the Council of Europe has been providing training on the Convention in a number of its member states for over a decade. And in some countries, for some time, the only training provided was the one organized by the Council of Europe. But happily now this is not the case anymore. And in each of the Council of Europe member states, there are now permanent training institutions for judges, lawyers, and prosecutors. And all of them are part of the HELP network. So what do we try to achieve? We are trying to incorporating the standards of the Convention within the initial and continuous training for judges, prosecutors, and lawyers. And we are even trying to go a step further to make that this training becomes a compulsory element. And to achieve this, the HELP program has developed a rich collection of training materials, which I'm going to show you in a little while, and which are available to all legal professionals, but not only those specializing in human rights, but in any judge, prosecutor, lawyer who should have the reflex to think the Convention when he looks at a case. It can be a family judge. We heard earlier all the questions surrounding the situation of children. It can be a criminal lawyer, a prosecutor. There should really be a reflex in all of you. And of course, it is becoming a real challenge for legal professionals to follow the case law of the Strasbourg Court, which evolves quickly and expensively. So the HELP program is also a platform where they will be able to keep abreast of the Strasbourg case law developments through updates which are going to be made available through a forum. So initially, the program was designed to cover only the European Convention on Human Rights, but it has become obvious with the years that there are many cross-cutting issues and there are specific themes which touch other conventions, and we are now looking at the broader picture, not only the European Convention on Human Rights. The HELP program is based on the principle of open education, which is actually a concept giving legal professionals the opportunity to learn about what they want to learn, when they want to do so, and to give them a responsibility for their own education. So this is why we also have developed a vast collection of self-learning materials. So the HELP program, as I just mentioned, is having an interdisciplinary approach and is really cooperating between different bodies within the Council of Europe. And for example, I will mention later that we are developing a distance learning course on anti-discrimination, and this course has been developed in cooperation with the Special Representative of the Secretary General on Roma issues, with the LGBT unit in the Council of Europe, etc. So we are really taking all the expertise within the organization together. And this year, we are going to have our annual conference on 18th and 19th of June, and the theme will be the cross-cutting issues relevant to human rights training of legal professionals. And on this occasion, the Council of Europe's Human Rights Commissioner, Nils Muizhnieks, is going to do a keynote speech on the role of legal professionals in defending human rights and preserving the human rights protection system. So I'm very pleased to be presenting you this program for the first time in Latvia today, and I very much look forward to introducing it in practice for the training for lawyers and judges and prosecutors. I already was in contact informally today, and I'm going now to show you what we have. But before that, I'm going to show a little clip which we have developed for those who still hesitate about the importance of human rights training. So I will, it's 1.5 minutes, it's not long. It worked earlier when I tried. It's complete. Okay, and what I can tell you while it's doing whatever it's doing is that we don't have so far materials in Latvian, but the idea is wherever we implement the HELP program, all the materials are translated into the national language and adapted to the national legal system. Okay. Why is it buffering?
It's probably too much.
So I will, while it's buffering, I will continue to tell you before I show you the website. So there are 3 types of training materials. One are self-learning courses, which are available to any legal professional on different themes. It can be criminal law, civil law, property, anti-discrimination, ill treatment, it's various themes. Then we have methodology tools for national trainers, because in many of the countries where the Council of Europe has been conducting training programs, we have established pools of national trainers with the idea, of course, to leave sustainable results after the Council of Europe leaves. And so we have some training materials for trainers. And the last thing, which is the novelty, I would say, are distance learning courses, which are thematic, which are first developed by a pool of international experts on a specific theme. And then these courses are translated in the country where they are going to be implemented, and again adapted to the national legal system, and they are conducted by the respective national training institution. And I will give you an example. For example, under the HELP program, we have developed a course on admissibility criteria before the European Court of Human Rights, which is, of course, addressed to lawyers. And it's being now tested in 6 pilot countries, which are Albania, Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Lithuania, Turkey, and the Russian Federation. And so there is a curriculum of 10 sessions, which have been then adapted for each of the legal system of the countries. And the respective bar association has selected a group of lawyers who is going to go through this course. And there is a national tutor who is a national expert on the topic, who is going to work on this distance learning course with the group of lawyers who is going through this course. I will show it to you a little bit later. And then this course is going to be validated. Okay, I'll continue after. Okay, so no, that's voilà. So that's the HELP website, which you can enter from the main Council of Europe's website. I show you. This is the main Council of Europe website. If you go under Human Rights, and you have the HELP program is here. And it's here. So to access all the materials, you need to have a password, but you can self-register. You go here, and you self-register, and then you have access to all the materials. So we have developed national pages in the countries where we already implement the distance learning courses. And so we've created a page for Latvia, but which is empty now because we don't work yet it's not totally empty, and there is the Riga Graduate School of Law, but we will update it. We have then now, since of course I don't speak Latvian, okay, voilà, I'm back. So this is the main page, and then we have courses, and I'm going to show you the course on admissibility, which we have developed. So we have it in Lithuanian because it's tested in Lithuania. No, again. So I'll show you the course in Russian because that one works. I tried it earlier. Just so that I can show you how. So you have the sessions, and for each session you have an initial test, and then which is a self-assessment test, and then a final test, and then you have news which are posted by the national tutor. Which is open, of course, only for the participants of the course, and so you go through the course, which is quite demanding. It's 10 sessions, and it takes several hours per week. But is Inette on the picture? No, she's not. But you can see the different, for example, this is lecture, session number 3. I can't see. And then the idea, the Bar Association or the training institution for judges and prosecutors can decide whether to have these courses for groups of judges and then validate it in the context of continuous education, or whether to have it as a self-learning course available to everybody. So this is to each institution to decide how open it should be. This is, I'm sorry, a little bit slow. Let's go back. I'm going to show you also some self-learning. Yes, I also wanted to show you. We are, I don't know how is the situation in Latvia, but in France for many years there was not at all any training on the European Convention on Human Rights in the initial training for lawyers. And, but this year they have introduced it for the first time, and we have developed a course for the Paris Bar Association, which has in 1 year 1,700 students. And we have developed a course which is called Having the European Reflex. And it's really, again, to say that human rights should not be for a small minority of lawyers, but that every lawyer should have the reflex. And this is the course which is now being implemented by the Paris School of Lawyers. And the software which is used is the Moodle software, which is one of the leading softwares for distance learning courses. There is also a page called Help 47, where the best experiences in training on the convention can be shared among the 47 member states, so that countries can see best practices. And for example, your seminar, the seminar you are having this year is a very good tool which could be replicated in other countries, and I'm not sure it's happening in other countries. I'm not sure that that the national judge is going to brief the legal community on a regular basis. So this is just news on training events in the 47 member states. I would like also to tell you that the Human Rights Trust, the HELP program is financed by the Council of Europe's Human Rights Trust Fund. Ineta Zimele was earlier mentioning the lack of resources in the court, but it's a little bit the same for all the areas and the cooperation area in the Council of Europe. But really for the Council, the priority is really to ensure the implementation of the Convention at the national level, to make sure that the rights and liberties are protected at the national level. And for this reason, now the HELP program is really one of the priorities of the Council. But we need to have a plan of action. And for 2013, we are developing distance learning courses on themes which have been agreed in last year's HELP conference. And these themes are admissibility, as I said, anti-discrimination, alternatives to detention as a way to reduce prison overcrowding, family law, and children's rights. And so these are the themes which are being dealt with in distance learning courses. And we will decide for new themes for 2014 with the national training institutions and the bar associations at the next HELP conference in June, in the sense that the priorities are identified by those who should use the HELP program. And I understand that the Latvian Bar Association is, of course, very interested in the course on admissibility, and I'm confident that we will be able to implement it already this year, and it remains to be seen with the Judges Training Institution which theme would be interested for judges in Latvia for this year. So this is what I wanted to show you in brief. I could perhaps show you the Russian national page, because I've got a few minutes, where you can find the resources, the self-training resources in Russian, which are all here. So these are case studies, PowerPoint presentations, etc. So this was a brief introduction, and I would be happy to answer any questions if you have at this point before you split in the working groups.